Hello there, and welcome back to another episode of Tea with Kimberly. Now, what I want to share with you are the additional tips to help you stay on track 11 through 20. So, grab a cup of tea, your journal, and a pen as I share these with you. And I hope that they do help you to not start a year or a semester or a season really strong and then feel like, oh, I've petered out. How can you stay on track? And again, this was a request from a viewer. So please always feel free to send in what you would like to see more of or how I can best support you with these Tea with Kimberly episodes. And this one is for you, you know who. Okay, so number 11 and 1 through 10 are in the previous video. Number 11, regular review. So I have a few ways that I do a regular review. I have them in my Evernote file. And what I mean by that is I have my goals, my plans, and I kind of break them out by quarter. I also have them in my planner. And then sometimes I'll have them by email as I send to my accountability buddy. So, where can you have yours that you can do a regular review? You can see them and check in on them and not just once a month or once a year. You want to be looking at these regularly so we stay on track. Number two, mindfulness and focus techniques. I'll tell you, this is so hard these days with every direction that we're pulled in. So, how can you stay focused? One of my favorite things, you guys, is turning my phone, which I'm looking at it right here, to do not disturb. That gives me hours of uninterrupted work. Now, and when I say work, I mean creative putting out of whether or not it's video, it's content, it's working on my book, all those sorts of things. And the only people who get through with do not disturb, as you probably know, are your favorites, meaning those who, like, if it's an emergency, you want to know. So focus and mindfulness, critical. Number 13 is breaks and rest. So we all need to rest, right? And if we just stay at it and we push ourselves to just keep working, it takes a toll. And what we're going to produce is not going to be as solid as it will be if we woke up and we, you know, had a nice breakfast and we had a nice cup of tea and we did our morning routine and we helped take care of whatever you might have. I've got pups. You may have care, you may be doing caregiving, whatever it might, you watered your plants, whatever it is, right? And then allows you to kind of settle in and really dive into your creative work. So, number 14, very important, is learning to say no. Now, I like a little bit more than no, and I like saying no, thank you. Thanks for thinking of me or including me in this opportunity or asking this of me. Unfortunately, I just don't have the capacity. And that has been my line a lot lately. So, for you, what helps you to say no to over committing or taking on more than you probably want to? Number 15 is reflect on your values. So, whenever you look at a list of values and you hone in on maybe it's your word or theme of the year or the season or after your birthday, or it's like a big value of yours. It can be helpful to check in and be like, is my life moving in that direction? For example, say creativity is a value, but you have no creative play in your life. Then we want to realign what we're doing to get more creativity in. And of course, there's so many ways to be creative. It can be doodling, it can be making art, sketching, painting, embroidery, writing. There's so many ways. And so if that's a value, make sure it's happening in your life regularly. Number 16 is visualize success. So picture yourself achieving whatever your goal is. Maybe it's that you want to do some decluttering, right? So if that's the case, wonderful. Well, what would it look like to have that done? Oh, I would open up my cabinet and everything would be in its place. I wouldn't have to rummage through looking for things. So visualize, what does that look like? What does that feel like? Number 17 is seek feedback. So solicit feedback from peers or mentors, right? So, and what I mean by that too is like reading books about a goal that you have, reaching out to people and asking, how do you do it? You seem to have a very organized whatever, or you seem to produce a lot of content, or you seem to have a very kind of loving, inclusive family. How do you do it? right? So seeking feedback and support, really. Number 18 is continuous learning. I love to learn. If I could just learn all the time, I would just love it, right? Whether or not it's reading, taking online classes, you know, journaling and learning more about myself. So for you, what allows you to engage in continuous ongoing learning? Number 19, you know this, self-care practices, so critical because we cannot pull from, what do they say? It's like blood from a turnip or something, right? But it's like we cannot pull from an empty well. We've got to be refilling that well regularly through things like rest and through downtime and good sleep and all those good things. So make sure those self care practices are in alignment with what you most need. And also knowing that they shift as we age, what we need is very different. You may have been able to do 6 hours of sleep back in the day, but now you're like, I need 10, right? So recognizing that and honoring that. And last but not least is stay positive and kind of with this, thinking mindset work, and you may be familiar with Carol Dweck, who has written a book called Mindset, and it's all about growth mindset and fixed mindset. Fixed is mindset, this is just the way it is. It's just how my personality is. It's just how my life is. Whereas growth mindset means like, okay, I haven't figured this out yet, or I can't do this yet, or I see that there's a possibility to grow in this area. So, how can you stay positive and engaged with a growth mindset as you think about staying on track? Right. So, I hope these are helpful as you think about moving into whatever season you are in. Quick recap: 11, regular review. Number 12, mindfulness and focus techniques. 13, breaks and rest. 14, learn to say no. It's a full sentence. I like no thank you. Number 15, reflect on your values. 16, visualize success. What does that even look like to you? Maybe it's if you are designing a dress, it's having the dress hanging on a mannequin, right? Or wearing the dress. 17, seek feedback, get support. 18, continuous learning, never stop learning. 19, self care practices. And 20, stay positive with a growth mindset. All right, thanks as always for tuning in. And I wish you lots of staying on track.